everyone. For now, I want to show you our tool which we developed in our company, and for now it is internal tool, but we think about develop it as an open source tool. Now I will start demonstrate our screen. Okay, we call the service like Data Insider, and I will tell you about this. First of all, I want to tell you about our company. XSolla is a video game business engine, and we set our solutions to help game developers and game publishers to grow their business. We work with enterprise partners and indie partners. Enterprise partners like Twitch, Steam, PUBG, and you can see some of them on the screen. What we're doing? We increase revenue for our partners by creating consistent sales experience from alpha to post-launch, expand payment footprint, build some anti-fraud tools to protect your business, grow an audience by building marketing campaigns and work with influencers. And also we get funding to new projects to get access to build their own dream project. Also, I want to tell you about myself. I'm head of data science in this company, and also I speaker of Hello and PyCon conferences, and also work with some kind of, I don't know, non-typical high score of economics education for students. What is Data Insider? Data Insider is acceleration of research, allows you to identify essential significant points for research further. Quick answers for business importance opportunities. Simply define. Data analysts need to define data set to experiment. Then you can get results within 10 minutes. If you want, you can explore more complex relationship with additional methods if you need. For example, you can just define a data set for experiment and find which factors are important to target value. First, let's talk about data analyst work cycle. What we are typically doing. We build some hypotheses, make some actions on data, build some insights, and make our business grown up. We control metrics, we find some problem cases, and want to improve statistics of our business revenue grown up. What we're doing? Get data, connectors, join, filters, spreadsheet databases, external services. We find insights, we think what is important or not, find some good story in data, think about data set, think about categorical features, numeric features, find some anomalies. After that, we plan our experiment, talk with our colleagues, find what matter in data, and after that, we start our action. Typically, we code on Python or R. We build some pipeline to pre-process data, collect data, build some analysis model, make some stat experiments, and after it, we make a report to our business heads or product owners to make next steps for our business. What I think is the main problem of every analyst work. As you can see, it is a typical time planning of every analyst task. First of all, we check some problem which we have. After it, we want to analyzing sources and collect some data to find what is matter or not. After it, we develop some MVP algorithm. And you can see that analyzing the sources, it is the main point of each data analyst work. We can speed up this step and make analytics more effective. If we reduce the time allocated from 60 to 30%, we will spend up the research in all typical tasks in the analyst day. And it will be good because our business partners, business heads, product owners can make some experiments with data, can find some insights much faster. Why this problem? Why we have this problem? First of all, we all have a good education and we know that data is not good. The data is dirty. We need to pre-processing data. We need to find some good tools to analyze it. We can find some new correlations. We can find some anomalies. We need to group data. We need to calculate business value from data. We need to collect from different sources. And if you know, we spend a lot of time. First of all, we need to speed up our experiments. What we need to do to make our experiments faster? We need some more powerful tool for our data analyst, which all of them can use. We need to automate our regular work and make a typical pipeline to pre-process data, find insights, and help us to make our work steps faster. We need that our results must be stable because we need to understand these results and generate some good reports to our business heads. What we need to do? We need that data should easily to understand for business units, and every report is the same structure. If we do this, we can make a good service that speed up our research. What is the main concept of the Data Insider framework? Data Insider framework, understanding our data and weighting the importance for business. We can program an algorithm that will help us. And the concept is to automate data analysis, transformation, conclusion, take it into account weighting on business metric. We can define a main flow, what we're doing with our data. We have two typical types of data, categorical and numeric features, and we're all doing the same things with them. We know that if we know analyze categorical features, we need to binarization it, we need to group some numeric statistic of it. What we're doing with numerical statistics? We find some averages, we calculate some quantities, and it is typical work type for every specialist. After it, we need to find some groups in our data set, which is important to our business. How we can do this? We can build a binarization model of every data which we use. After it, we can calculate every group importance to target business value. If we can't calculate importance of our groups, we can calculate total shape and possible effect for our business in these groups. And then if we can calculate business effect in our groups in data set, we can make some reports with recommendations to do next steps. I want to show you some business case. It is a typical business task for data analyst. It is a real task in our previous days. Business detect that we have our partner service is at Twitch subscription began to grow sharply. We need to know what happened because it is important to our business and it is important to our partner. If we can identify the case, we can analyze it, and we can find that there can be some problem. Maybe it is a fraud, maybe it is some technical problem, because it is not typical behavior of this metric. We have metric, active subscriptions, and it is grow up. Why is important? We, as a service expert with analytics for our partners, we must see everything what doing our partners, what do the player in the games, and we can find some good expertise in this and give some feedback to our partners to grow the armor. Open detection of atypical cases, we protect partners from fraud, malfunctions, help find the cases and improve their business. How we work with service? We work with categorical and numeric features. First of all, I want to tell you about numeric features. Numeric features methodology based on old financial institute methodology, weight of evidence, and important value. I have a link to the methodology. If you want to research it, I can share it you after the presentation. You can type me after it. We modify this methodology to our business, and it seems to be typical for every business. The main position of this methodology that we can group numeric features to important subgroups with main statistical features that will be describe all data set. This is work because important variance method weights every grouped factor to all data set and find the most important borders to each group to make more important variance to all data set. For example, you have some typical numeric feature. For example, subscription revenue year plan in this task. You can plot some graphs, you can find that distribution of these values, something like left on the screen, and it have maybe some normal distribution, but we have that we have some kind of interesting cases on the left and some kind of the long tail on the right. After we use this methodology on this data, we find that there are 3 typical groups. You can find it on the right side on the screen. With the resulting transformation, we obtain statistically stable conclusion in these samples. You can find that this group have borders from teal and size to the whole data set. Sorry. How it works with categorical feature? With categorical feature is typical machine learning preprocessing. As you know, some kind of one-hot encoder. It typical make a binary columns to every unique value of this feature, and but not the same, because if you know, one-hot encoder make every column to every unique value, even this value is less to all shape of the data. We modify the one-hot encoder methodology, and we group small size of subgroup to same group if it less than 5%, and make synthetical subgroups of small groups. For example, if you have some kind of examples with groups of shape 3%, 4%, 2%, 1%, it will define in 2 subgroups with 5% and 4%. How it works in total? You build a binarization model. It is similar to one-hot encoder, as I say, but it's different. You can see that we have some numeric features on the left side of the screen, like average revenue. we have some numeric feature like quarter, and we have categorical feature is country code. If we use one-hot encoder, we get only country ISO, and we get small size of the subgroups because of one-hot encoder not work with numeric features. And as I say, split to binary columns every small subgroups on each categorical factor. Our model built, as I say before, statistical weighted groups, and you can see that we have quarter one, country, some non-typical group number one, and binarization group with borders from 3 to 125 average revenue as some kind of statically important group, and some typical categorical group from country. After we have binarization model, we need to find how these subgroups really important to our business target. An assessment of the importance of the groups is shown on this formula. We estimate the volume of deviation of average in the subsample from the general aggregation. At the same time, we understand that in different business tasks, the significance of the volume or influence is different. Using the beta parameter, we can control what important for us in this task. For example, we can find that some biggest group can change something by 1%, but it is really simple. But change something by 50%, but small size for subgroup, it is much harder. And we can manipulate the beta parameter as hyperparameter of the model. Default beta is 1. Default, each data analyst, when build experiment, junior or senior, can define their own beta parameter. But most of all, we find that beta parameter with 1 is better for much cases in our business. Maybe in your business, it will be the same. In the business result, I want to show you what we find. The found insight is formed over the only one game that have a lot of influencer in small period. We found it was some kind of game named Valorant, and influencer in this game get extra viewers. You can see it at the right graph. You can see that in the same days, count of viewers grown sharply. Detailing case found less than 20 minutes. Detailing a case with a business head is the next long stage, but it is not a target to this system because we found good insight to talk with our business head, and he is agreed that it is really important. We talk with them that it is really important and make some next steps to find why this happened, because it's not normal behavior. And we start talk with Twitch and make next steps. Why is this important for us? We can quickly find insights in next few days and find which solution help our partners or our business grow up. Why is it simple? The simplicity of the code show on the right side on screen. Any employee in the company can copy from the repository and use it in their own local notebook with less than 10 rows of code. We use a single code, and this speed up to phobia of colleagues, as you can see, use the normal Python library. The documentation is being developed jointly with colleagues, and we try to make sure that the service is possible to use to junior data analyst and senior data analyst will be helpful. And it is open repository. We share our knowledge on this repository. We build some new methods, and every of colleagues can make a commit, and some senior level data analyst can check it, and if it will be helpful, we talk about it and merge it to master. Junior data analyst can use the main flow of the system. He can write 10 rows of code, get result, get main point to grown up, make a fast report, make a fast insight, or build new experiment, and make next step. What is important to senior specialist? Senior specialist need to go deeper. He want to find some good insights. He want to make some strongly experiment, and we know about it. And we build some objects in this library, and we give the total value of this methodology in hands of specialists. Data analyst specialists can improve their knowledge or share it through the refinement of the service. This significantly increases the cross-functional interception of colleagues because we have the product approach. Each specialist make a commit, as I say, which will be validated as possible specialist. And also, I want to show you some business cases, what we find with this experiment. We built experiment and want to find what a main point, what make a grown up active subscriptions, but we find also that some not typical cases. We find that trial period with month duration is the worst for our partners to their revenue. We find that the most good period to make a trial period for the game or some game service like Twitch is between 3 and 30 days. We look at that more detail and find that the best period for trial is 2 weeks. And after it, we make a report, calc the possible business growth, and calc that if our partners set trial period by 2 weeks, we have month trial period, their revenue will grow up till 13%. Another case, we find that also we use a factor as a day of the month. We collect data set as each payment of each partner of each day at last, as I remember, 1.5 years, and we make a statistic. After it, model say us, she find that in country Saudi Arabia, worst day it is a 10th day of the month. If every partner in Saudi Arabia, we don't know what happened in Saudi Arabia, and now we look at it, but we calculate that if our partners who work in Saudi Arabia will work with 10th day of the month, it will increase their revenue by 5%. What we have done in total, we research and calc that our data research speed up at, and we built for now at first month 20+ research in our company, and I think it is a good result for not big team in our company, because we have 4 specialists in data analysis. We plan at Q2 as PI target for data science team to improve system quality and representation. And also, we have to think that we need to build an open source Python library for data science community and open data science at Q3. And also, we have started to develop interface to regular users, because not only data analysts want to work with this data. We know that our product owners, business analysts want to work with their data and build simple experiments fast. And for now, we start to develop interface to regular users. And for now, I want to say thank you all. And also, if you want to be a part of our open source library, you can type me on email or in Telegram. And we talk about it, because we can build the service faster. Thank you.
So, Aleksandr, thank you very much for your presentation. And I just a quick reminder that you can ask your question in Q&A live session near the video stream. So, and just one simple question from me. You said a lot about ETL process, that you spend a lot of time on this. And just my question, what is about feature engineering? And how much time do you spend on this?
We have backlog of the system, and we have some points to build some synthetical features, polynomial features, and others. And for now, we have this side of work belong to data analyst. Data analyst as expert need to research the data and define the first data set to the model. After it, model says what important or what not. And after it, data analyst can make a quick research to next step and improve the data set to next step of research.
Yeah, okay, so we have another question. So you said quite a lot about one-hot encoding, and the question from, sorry, Bobby, I don't know, what other approaches do you use when you analyze the data? And maybe I will add to this question, maybe you can tell us more about the algorithm that help you to combine different binary columns. So maybe you can tell more about it.
The main point that I can share a link. It is a very simple algorithm. If you can search the weight of evidence in scoring cards, it will answer to your question, because the main formulas I show you in the presentation, that the main of this algorithm that we calculate count of good cases till to bad cases in groups. First of all, count of groups set randomically, and good cases, it was when it is where average of target value in this group better than average target value in all data set. And it is simple, and it is very simple and clever. What is the better? Better is when you have average in your subgroup better than average in all data set. What is the worst? Worst, it is when average in your subgroup worse than average target value in all data set. And after it, then you randomly make some splits. You need to build some one-sided trend line. If you do not have local extremums in your trend line by your positions, by your groups, you build right Voya groups. If you have some local extremums on these groups, this build not good. And important evidence says you that this group not statically matter. And if you will make some kind of data analysis results on this, it will be not statically consistently. It can change in the future.